OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
This brother, he is raising some serious questions.
He's here to make you think.
What I'm trying to do is get our people to understand that we have been lied to all the way around about our history. Can you name any other group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents? Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer, which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes.
I want y'all to check out somebody named Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway?
Look into Dane Calloway. He has a lot of information about how this whole shit was told in reverse. Okay? Where they say, oh, we came from Africa over here. No, a lot of us was already here.
And information that was put together by a man by the name of Dane Calloway, who is also questioning the slave trade. And he's done some remarkable videos on the history of the slave trade in the United States. And he's gone back down the food chain and gone back down the line, and he's realized that a lot of the so-called African Americans in the United States are not African at all. They're actually Native Americans, because the slave trade did not happen the way we were told that it happened.
It's Dane Calloway.
Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal.
I'm not saying African American because they're not African American. They're the Aboriginals because they were the true Native Americans.
Set it on fire.
They're the copper colored race. Look up Dane Calloway and watch his fucking shows. That man, Dane Calloway on YouTube, oh my God. He is fucking beyond brilliant. The research he does, whoo, he goes way deep into this shit.
Relax and take notes.
It's Dane Calloway on I'm Just Here to Make You Think Radio.
Turn it up. Hey. Look, my wife and I, so far we put out 3 books and they 5 stars, cause we educating the tribe up. 100 years after 100 years, they done lied to us, but we wised up. The first book got them haters shook, cause it's up on my people, take a drive up. Memory lane, down memory lane, remember everything, watch it line up. And the second book, we exposed it all, had them gatekeepers going, how but? Predictable, they was fictional. All I heard getting that lies piled up. In the third book, we was riled up, like a car's engine with his mouths up. They the lie that said that we came from Africa when that's where they came from round, bro. Hey, finding out all on your own is what I highly recommend and suggest. And if you looking for answers and content by me, I highly recommend you the best, which is my website at the link you see just across the screen. Don't let it miss you. I make it simple. I double down on that black and white. It's too official. All right, here we go. Hold up. We are on the wrong screen. Hold up. Here we go. Okay. OCO, everyone. How y'all doing? I wanted to discuss a lot of things that are currently happening right now. And I want to show you all. And we got to talk about it because I think we should be doing something about it. Man, let me pull up my chat right now. DJ Divine Rising in the building. What's up, sis? How you? Fort Worth, Texas in the building. Harrisonburg, VA in the building. Side D's, what's up, brother? OCO. Salas, thank you for the donation. You ready? You ready? Rolando, what's up, brother? Cato said Northeast Philadelphia in the building. Darius said OCO from Memphis. OCO Memphis, what up? Atlanta, Georgia in the building. Alexandria, Louisiana in the building. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Detroit, Michigan. Miami Gardens in the building. Missouri in the building. Philly, stand up. Columbia, South Carolina. Clearwater, Florida. Durham, North Carolina. Miami Gardens again. B Moore in the building. What up, B Moore? Irving, Texas in the building. Oakland, Cali in the building. What up, Oakland? Richmond, VA in the building. VA, what up? Florence, Alabama in the building. I see you. Cleveland, Ohio. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. DMV in the building. What up? That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Turtle Island, that's right. Turtle Island, Cleveland, Ohio, Farley, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, Kansas City, Texas. Somebody just said Texas. BX, New York. Oh, man. Pontiac, Michigan. Chi-Town in the building. I think that was Muskegon, Michigan. Yeah, I'm glad you did it twice. What up, Ricky? Nashville, Tennessee. Brooklyn in the house. Where Brooklyn at? Miami Beach, Florida in the house. Damn, I wonder what y'all temperature looking like. If we hot over here, y'all probably hot over there. Birmingham, Alabama. I hope y'all doing well, man. I know we've been, we've been getting a lot of crazy weather. They've been shooting the beams up in the sky and shooting the beams down on people, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's how they've been controlling the weather for a long time. Shooting them laser beams up in the sky. They say it's, for manipulating the weather purposes for people that suffer from dry areas, dry weather conditions, to make sure that they have some type of water to keep up with their crops. I mean, but they don't, I understand, but what about everybody else? Yeah, direct energy weapon, yep. Yeah, HARP had it at first. HARP handed it over to the government, though. DARPA's involved in that now. HARP handed it over years ago. I have a documentary on that on the channel right now. I believe that one was called Why Are They Called Smart Devices, either part 2 or part 3. I forgot which one it was. Why are they called smart devices? But yeah, HARP passed it over. DARPA has it now. Harlem, New York in the building. Charleston, South Carolina. Rapids, North Carolina. You see the CV protocols being implemented? I didn't see that yet. I'm gonna take a look at it though for sure. Urbana, Arkansas, I see you. Yeah, it's hot in Texas. It's hot. I'm in Texas. It's hot. Every day it's over 100 degrees. Every day. I'm talking about the grass squishy. Like, you know what I mean? Well, we got to go outside and water the grass twice a day, even at night. Like, it's crazy. Harper's in Alaska. PD checking in. What up, South Carolina? Hey, PD Indians in the building. Hold up, where my sound effects at? I'm over here. I ain't even. Let me drop a bomb. Matter of fact, let me give y'all a round of applause. Norfolk, VA, Katy, Texas, 706 Georgia. I see you. I know we getting in here a little early today. I know it's it's a Saturday and I'm up here early, but I'm doing a couple of things, and y'all know we getting ready to roll out all the new content. This is something I wanted to talk about that just came about recently due to the California Reparations Task Force being disbanded, but it was a governor that was a member of that task force. He came out with something that I want to go over with you all and get your take on that, because there's something I want to do right behind this. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But his name is Senator Stephen Bradford. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened, but he created basically, so right behind him being one of the members of the California Reparations Task Force, he created this thing, a new state agency called the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. And to briefly go over it, it's supposed to be an agency that is set to administer reparations to the descendants of slavery. Okay, like they're going to be the overseers. Well, at least that's what he wants. They have to vote on that once they come back. But it's called SB 490. But I want you all to hear that. Actually, let me, I want you all to hear that, and I'm gonna get your take on what is said here. And I want you to listen closely to his background. Not only his background, but how they're about to go about it. Like, notice a couple of things that are being said here. Also, let me mention that he is, or was actually, no, he's still a part of it. Let me double check that. Hold on, let me double check to make sure that he's still a part of the California Legislative Black Caucus. Yeah, he is. He still is. So he is the vice chairman for the California Legislative Black Caucus. Now, if you're not familiar with the Black Caucus, all of them are boule. I'm gonna just get it straight out the, I'm gonna put it out there right now. All of them are gatekeepers, but they're a set group, tight-knit group of politicians, technically, that are involved in the government. They share the same complexions as you and I, put out there allegedly, trying to do stuff for us. But I don't know. You tell me if they actually did anything, and maybe I'll change my mind about them. But right now, I don't have any high hopes for this. But I'm gonna just let you know.
Earlier this summer, the California Reparations Task Force completed 2 years of work studying and developing reparations proposals for Black Californians with lineage to Black people enslaved in the U.S. That final report was sweeping.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let's make sure that we have audio. Was everything clear on that, what I just played? Was everything clear? Shout out to Cherry 333 for becoming a member. And let me drop a bomb for Earl Wheeler. Thank you for gifting the memberships, brother. I appreciate that. If you all are in the live chat, you could become a member right away. Because of that, I appreciate that. I saw some people in the comments the last time I went live. They was like, hey, how can I grab the free memberships? You have to be in the live stream. That was clear? Okay, good. Crystal clear? All right. Here we go.
Welcome back. Earlier this summer, the California Reparations Task Force completed 2 years of work studying and developing reparations proposals for Black Californians with lineage to Black people enslaved in the U.S. That final report was sweeping, more than 1,000 pages, but the report merely contained recommendations. It still takes an act of the legislature to make any of what's in that document a reality. Well, today,
Mike, thank you for becoming a member
of Southern California took the next step to making reparations happen here in California. He joins us live now via Zoom from his office in Sacramento. Senator Bradford, we appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. The amendment you introduced today to SB 490 is the first step in making reparations happen here in California. It's important to note, though, the bill won't be heard until the next legislative cycle. So why act now?
I think we need to send an early indication of what reparations needs to be, but more importantly, set up the infrastructure regardless of what we decide that final program or payment might look like. You need infrastructure to implement the programs, and this is what this bill does. It gives the foundation, it gives this structure, and it was one of the #1 recommendations of creating a Freedmen Affairs agency to implement those programs. So this is what it does. It pretty much is the framework to move forward.
Yeah, certainly getting the ball rolling there with proposing the creation of the Freedmen Affairs Agency. What do you hope that agency will accomplish? You mentioned creating the framework to making reparations happen.
I'm hoping it's going to be the tool, and I'm not hoping, it has to be the tool for implementation, regardless of what those reparations look like at the end. You need infrastructure. You need it.
Look, y'all, look, establish genealogy office. Create Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank. Distribute business grants. Facilitate employment training. Process direct compensation claims. Now they're saying that this is good. Well, he's trying to say that this needs to be the foundation of what needs to be established in order to start it, in order for California to start it. Freedmen Affairs Agency. Before I go any further, what y'all think about this so far? Maccabee, thank you for the gifted member. I appreciate that. Jersey Williams, welcome aboard. You like that? Corn, you like what they doing? I'm gonna read this again. Establish a genealogy office. So that means that you're gonna have to prove that your ancestors were enslaved. I've been saying this. It doesn't matter if it was California or not. A lot of people saying no. Oklahoma Freedom said strange stuff going on. Diamondback said a lot of nothing. Well, literally, that was Diamondback Entertainment's comment saying a lot of nothing. I don't want people in the chat after this thinking of dissing the person. That's what the comment says. Earl Wheeler, prop move, set up. Cato said it's cap. It's an act. God's Jew said employment training. Facilitate employment training. Number one, where it says create Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank, that's already done. What do they mean? What does he mean by that? That's already done. Levon say, what's up, brother? James Lattimore said it's a trap. Terrence said blah, blah, blah. Z Washington said stunt. Levante said he don't like it at all. Brian said something fishy about it. Yeah, because, okay, establishing a genealogy office. Okay, office. I establish a genealogy office, not a team. Listen, not having genealogy experts there, just the office. We need to establish a genealogy office. Right? And then turn right around and say, create Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank. They are already in existence right now. They're still there. We don't need to create that again. We don't need to create that again. I remember I went over the Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank, the Freedmen Bureau Banks, years ago. And remember when I informed you all that Frederick Douglass, in fact, let me bring this up right now, that Frederick Douglass was appointed as the by the trustees of the Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank. The trustees asked him to, you know, become the chairman. I believe that was his official title, in hopes that more of our people would say, hey, let's go back to it. Because at that time, the banks were nearly about to be closing. So they were hoping that Frederick Douglass would draw in more people due to his popularity at that time. Draw the people back to, you know, open up more accounts. He even invested, I remember I said tens of thousands of his own dollars. And now some sources are going to say, even the White House is going to say he invested $10,000. I might even bring that back up because I want to get into that for a reason. But yeah, I do want to get into that because I want to show you all something of how that money. I know my wife gonna get on me about this because we had a little in-house debate about this. Okay, I'm gonna smile right now because I know she's smiling when she hear this. Me personally, that money is still owed to us. Okay, that were all of the people that opened up the accounts inside of the Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank. The way it was set up, that money still should have been there, even though those banks dissolved. 1875, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not right in front of it. I could be wrong. I believe it was either 1874, 1875-ish. It was right around that time, right? But all of those accounts, like a lot of people had money in there, and you know, bonds. That money is still there. We should be having that in our possession. And the way Abraham Lincoln set that up, that money is not only owed to the account holders, it's owed to the account holders' descendants. Because keep in mind, it's a Freedmen Savings and Trust Bank. If they set up trust, and this is another reason why that is very important, because if you know, especially if you're doing your genealogy, if you discover that one of your ancestors or more than one of your ancestors opened up a trust agreement with this bank, you need to find out who the beneficiaries are. What was stated in there? How much money's in there? Property. They could have put anything in these trusts, y'all. You'll never know. But that's why I was stressing that issue years ago, and I might as well go ahead and tell you right now. That's like, right now, that's probably, but I see somebody say $47 trillion in that bank. It could be, I don't know. But okay, the reason why my wife and I were debating was because of that money, like how much it would be right now and who will be dishing that money out. That's our debate. We were trying to, so eventually we'll bring this back up. Now that I brought this back up, I'll try to have that debate with my wife again and see if we could, do some investigations on how much exactly and who should be dishing that money out. Because right after that, we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule because of Abraham Lincoln. And, we were supposed to be allotted land. Technically, that's what that was about. 40 acres and a mule. But Andrew Johnson vetoed that. He stopped it when he came in. He stopped that and then turned right around, took our land directly from up under our feet and handed it to foreigners. It was over 160 acres per foreigner. They had to pay a little bit, just a tad bit, but they got 160 acres per person or head of household. I believe that was the correct terminology. 160 acres. We lost a lot of acres at that time. And that was the due to the HR. Oh, which one was that, y'all? HR. Hold on, now I gotta think. I know I got that. Oh man, which HR was that? HR 125. HR 125. Homestead Act of 1862. I believe that was the Homestead Act of hold on. It's coming to me. I ain't had my coffee yet. But I know it's HR 125. HR 125. They didn't already claimed it as public domain. And when they claimed it, and that's in their writing too, and in that legislation, they claimed 1866. Yeah, 1866. Thank you, James. 1866. And when they claimed it as public domain, that means the government grabbed it and passed it to whoever they wanted to, or sold it to whoever they wanted to. And that was our land. That was our land. No, not HR 40. That's dealing with reparations. HR 40 was 1989. But HR 125, I'm referring to the Homestead Act of 1866. This is when Andrew Johnson came in and said, nope, stop the 40 acres and a mule, and said, I bet we're going to give it to all the foreigners that's coming now. Forget the color people that built this country. We're going to give it to the foreigners that's coming in. That's exactly what happened. And when you talk about, and see that, you know, I'm going to be real with y'all. Hear me out on this. I don't want to jump the gun because I'm about to talk about it later on after I point all this stuff out. But this has to be the number, at least number one. Matter of fact, this has to be number one. Because that's something that we can actually prove by way of record. Like, it's a lot of this stuff that we could prove by record, but that's number one. They took the land from our ancestors, took it. And see, when we talking about reparations, it's about repair, right? But the main key factor is that the government, okay, remember when the government came out with that apology? What year was that? Was that 2008? They apologized for slavery, but they had that little disclaimer at the end of that legislation stating that they not taking responsibility for slavery. What was the point of apologizing? That was a fluke apology, because they know for a fact that if they take any responsibility for slavery, they got to cough it up. Yeah, that's right. Apartment 217, it was a land grab. The exact same thing they did to us are the exact same things that they just did to them people in Maui. A land grab. Same thing. And they did that to us more than once. But these Homestead Acts was the icing on the cake for them. By legislation, they took the land and handed it to foreigners straight up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that was something that, I mean, that was owed to us. There's no debating that at all. We don't got to study that. We don't got to open up a whole nother task force to study it. No, we don't. We could just simply look at HR 125. Homestead Act of 1866. And I'm talking about, look at the first section, if I'm not mistaken. I don't got it right up in front of me. They're going to tell you that it's straight up to take lands, okay, and give it to settlers by way of public domain. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying it verbatim. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me. But I'm telling you, if you look at the beginning of that, you're going to be like, damn, they ain't not playing. And I remember I've been mentioning numerous times that we need some lawyers involved. I mean, we need some lawyers that got balls like how Johnny Cochran, y'all remember Johnny Cochran, right? I know a lot of people out there probably gonna remember Johnny Cochran's situation where he was actually, him and a group of lawyers were involved in trying to bring a class action lawsuit against the government. A lot of people would say this is the reason why Johnny Cochran is dead. But it was him and I'm trying to think of the people. It was a couple of other people that he had up under his belt that just recently won some lawsuits. One was $1 billion, another one was close to $1 billion. I got to pull that up. But the Washington Post covered it. I remember that. And they talked about it again. Nah, that wasn't recent. I was about to say recently. That was years ago. But they were supposed to meet that July for their little 4th annual meeting in Washington, D.C. I remember that. But yeah, they got him up out of there. They know that they were gonna, I mean, that, now you talking about reparations, they were coming after that. A group of lawyers? A class action lawsuit? Ain't no way you gonna, see, this is the reason why I said if you a lawyer, or attorney rather, that got the balls to go against this government, let me know. There's a lot of things I want to hand to you so we could get some stuff done for our people. And it would be nice. It would be nice if you do it as soon as possible. Powhatan Chief, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for gifting the membership. R.L. Smith, welcome aboard. But all right, so I jumped a little bit, so let me get back to this.
Agency, and this agency will oversee that. It will help also identify those men and women who are direct descendants of chattel slavery here in this country and help them qualify for the reparations, and putting structure to the various programs that we hope to implement, whether it's continued education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's child care, you name it. You're going to need an agency to oversee this. So we look for it to, like I say, to be the foundation for moving forward for California's reparations program.
And we have on the screen right here some of the things that the Freedmen Affairs Agency would oversee. As you mentioned, everything from establishing that genealogy to distributing business grants, facilitating employment training, processing direct compensation payments, if that is to happen.
That does not say establishing their genealogy. That says establish genealogy office. Don't say that. You heard how he tried to slickly put that in there?
Everything from establishing that genealogy to distributing business grants, facilitating.
Come on, man. Don't lie.
Employment training, processing direct compensation payments, if that is to happen. But as you noted, some components of the office would still need some additional legislative support. So do you plan on, I imagine at the start of the next legislative cycle, introducing some additional bills to build out some more of the framework of what you all outlined in that final report by the California Reparations Task Force?
Before he answers that, just to let y'all know, this happened a few days ago. This just happened a few days ago.
It's going to require numerous bills, not just by myself, but my colleagues of the Black Caucus, and hopefully our non-African American allies as well, to truly stand up this agency and the programs that need to come from it. So this is just the very first step. Again, I see a half a dozen to a dozen more bills in the various categories that we're talking about, making it part of reparations. So again, an education component, a healthcare component, a home buying component, you name it, we're gonna have to have those various bills that deal with those areas specifically. So again, this just provides us a foundation and framework to go forward.
As you noted at the top of the interview here, you said that you creating, or at least amending SB 490 right now is sending out an early indication of what you plan to do. as you introduce, or perhaps your colleagues as well, introduce a number of bills to make reparations a reality here in California. And you also said that you hope that that support isn't just contained to the Black Caucus there in Sacramento. Have you received any early support from your colleagues in the Senate, perhaps in the House as well, to signify that they are willing to work with you? They are interested in making this happen.
There's been great interest expressed by our colleagues, but again, without seeing anything specific. I can't just, identify individuals on a specific issue, but overall reparations, there's been a open willingness to discuss what that might look like in the future. And I have to admit, there has been some pushback as well. I mean, it's some folks who still haven't wrapped their arms around it. That's why I'm encouraging my colleagues during this break over the next 3 months to read the report, not only the interim report, but the final report, because it speaks to why this is owed, why this is due, why this is so important. And I think it helps give folks a little bit more comfort if you know the true story of American history as well as California's history as it relates to slavery here in this country.
Yeah, you're certainly giving folks some food for thought as you all head into the legislative break soon. In that statement, though, earlier that you released today announcing the legislation, I want to read you a quote here that you gave in that statement. It says, "Over our history, this land and nation have benefited from 250 years of wage theft through slavery. Just as my colleagues support those bills relating to wage theft, they should also support reparations-related legislation. Reparations are not a gift, they're not a handout or charity, but they are what was promised, owed, and overdue." What more needs to be done to make the case to your legislative colleagues who you're saying that you're getting pushback from, and also the average Californian who perhaps might not buy into California should be behind reparations?
Read the story, know the history. Again, I say if you can inherit generational wealth, you can inherit generational debt. This is a debt that is owed by descendants of chattel slavery, not only in California, but across this nation. And it's important to know the story. And what we have done for so long in America is whitewashed our story. It is often said there are stories that made America, and then there's stories that America has made up. Much of what we teach in our school is stories that America has made up. This reparations task force report, the interim and the final report, tells the true story of all the challenges that African Americans went through in this country to build it to the great nation that it is today. So I'm encouraging my colleagues.
And and to be real with you, it's interesting. I mean, you want the colleagues and everybody else, as far as those politicians or legislators out there in California, to read this report, over 1,000-page report, while they're taking a break. But why is this report or these findings or these discoveries that you all have accumulated over the 3-year period that you have been together, why hasn't this been made public? See, that is a concern of mine. That's a concern of mine. Because all we're hearing bits and pieces. Like, for example, to go back to a couple of the bullet points that he pointed out as far as his SB 490, he pointed out, what was it, 4 or 5 of them? But it's not necessarily getting to the root of the problem. Like, that doesn't take care of all matters. But he's saying that just because of those 4 or 5 bullets that they pointed out, this should be the overseer of those who should be eligible or consider themselves eligible to take reparations or to, have a reparations claim. I don't know about that. Okay. And with these Black Caucus people, I don't trust them. I'm being honest with you. I really don't. With them being gatekeepers in their history, I mean, think about it. Why now? Why is there a change of heart now? Where is all the emotions and the outcries for, reparations ever since you became a politician? As a matter of fact, to go back to the Black Caucus ever since its inception. What about then? Why now? Why is it happening now? Where were you guys supporting the HR 40 back in 1989? Okay. And the reason why, and that was just the study. Like, where were you guys, supporting the study for the possibility of reparations to those that it could be owed to? Where were you guys back then? And then he's a Democrat, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he is a Democrat. And it doesn't matter, really. I mean, Democrat, Republican, two heads of the same snake. Y'all know how I am. I don't like neither party. I don't like it. In fact, why do we have to have a party? Why? What are we celebrating? Like, that's the only time I would want to have a party. I want to celebrate. What are we celebrating? Come on, man. Anyway, there's another thing I wanted to point out here before I move on. The pattern is always the same. Each one of these politicians will talk a good game. They got this going on. They got that established, or they plan to get this done. They hope that this will happen. They're going to propose this bill, introduce this bill, hope that it passes in law, just to garner a person's vote. And this is the same pattern. And I just hope that my people don't fall for these same tricks again. Like, when are people going to grow tired of this? And I'm going to mention some things later on again, as far as what I think, I've been saying a lot of things that where I feel as though we can do something to bring some solutions. But I'm not a politician, but I'm going to try some things myself. And I hope you all can get on board with me as well. Because I want your opinion about some things, and I'm going to need that. And I'm going to tell you where to send it, because I'm for real. So remember in fact, I'll get into it right now. The bullet points that he made as far as his agenda with this agency that he's trying to create, right? Keep in mind, everyone has the ability or has the right to assembly, meaning we could create our own Congress. We could create our own reflections of Congress, a House, and a Senate. That also carries the president, treasurer. We could do that. We could create our own body of government. Hear me out. I'm getting to a point. Because for that reason, why not the public mention these things that we should need or that we should implement? Why not? Because did any one of you all that's watching right now speak with this senator right here about what should be implemented as far as an overseeing agency? Right before the person claims that, they got a reparation claim. Okay, here's an overseer. Did we have any say so? Who's to say who's running what behind the scenes when it comes to what he's proposing and what those, like you said, there's going to be multiple other bills that are coming and what they're proposing? Did you consult with the public, or you just consulting with your peers, quote unquote peers? Because the only people that I feel as though will have your best interests as far as you being a politician will be your peers. Not, necessarily just because they share the same hue. It's not really that. It's about how you guys can benefit on a personal note. Well, I mean, if I garner this many votes as a senator, I could possibly run for president the next time you see what I'm saying? It go just like that. Usually, that's usually what happens with a lot of these people. Like I'm not trying to start no trouble, but let's be real here. A lot of the people that were running around shouting and pouting about the civil rights movement, during the civil rights movement, actually end up becoming politicians, right? I mean, all the way down to the Black Panthers. They became politicians for this government, not their own.
And I said, if I was going to become a politician, it ain't going to be for this government. It's going to be for our own. Because just think about it. Why? Why is this government for our people? Because they're not. But if they were, if we feel as though they are, why are they not laying claim to this government's history? I mean, you had Aetna come out and apologize. You had a couple of people. Yeah, Aetna was the insurance company. Somebody else apologized. What was it? Hold on. It was Aetna and somebody else came out and apologized too for slavery in America. I can't recall it right away. But the government did not. And they had the biggest hand. They was Trump tight in the game of spades of slavery. Trump tight. And they turning their nose up. I mean, how can we trust this government with actually trying to pass some legislation for the benefit of our people? Because over and over and over again, we're going to talk about the discriminations, the injustices, the inequalities, we could go down the list. Repeating cycle, year after year after year. How many times are we going to allow these politicians to garner our vote? They don't stick to what they plan to do, and that's it. Back to square one. How long? That's why I'm like, yeah, this is my thing now, right? The 13%.com is live. The 13%. The number 13 and %.com is live. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it right now. But the majority of the website is getting built as we speak. So you're going to see a message saying that it's coming soon. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is because what I mentioned last year about the 13%. Remember, as some of you all can recall, that I was turning my nose up with going the political route. And I'm still turning my nose up with going the political route. But I don't mind pulling from other sources where we could create our own resource of government and create our own policies and create our own opportunities. I wouldn't mind being a part of that board. I wouldn't. I would love for us to come together, and because we can, we did it before, we got a history of it. I don't mind us coming together to get what we have to get done for us, for ourselves. We could be independent. We don't have to have parties. We don't have to have divide. We don't have to turn our nose up to any other, foreigner trying to, pitch in, donate. Hey, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. We don't got to turn their nose. If they want to help, they want to help. But as long as they know that this is for our people and we all on the same page, I wouldn't mind that. But I want to see indigenous Niji all across the board. Now, I'm using the term Niji because the government called us Indian. And I understand, by way of the paperwork, we definitely want to say American Indian. I know. Urban Indian, Wild Indian, Ameri Indian. I know. Negro Indian. I know. But we ain't create that. I'm not saying that we got to go for a political, campaign and say, hey, let's call ourselves Niji. You don't even got to call yourself that. But you know who I'm talking to when I say Niji. That's better than saying Negro and nigger. We ain't acting ignorant over here. We're not Indian givers over here. Wait a minute. We're not Indian givers over here. We didn't renege. We're not niggardly. We're not acting niggardly, being an extremely stingy person. We're not doing that right now. But I want us to come together and unite for that cause, though. Not just for any cause. Not come together and unite and hold up signs or be out in the cold weather screaming and hollering and tearing stuff up, burning businesses down and jumping in front of a mic and calling themselves an activist. We don't need none of that. We don't. We can take care of ourselves. I remember when Martin Luther King got pissed off because the government told him that straight up, now they snatched the land from our people, gave it to the foreigners, and said that, and turned around and looked at us, our people, and said, you better lift yourself by your own bootstraps. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Martin Luther King ended up becoming tired of marching. His words were, I'm tired of marching. Dane Calloway's words, I'm tired of begging the government to study the cases for reparations when everybody knows that we are owed everything out here, everything. The solution, I want you all that's watching right now, if you can think of some bullets that you could come up with, or lengthy, you can make it lengthy, some things that you will want to see, some things that you would love to have implemented for our benefit, some ideas, some suggestions, some anything that comes to your heart. Notice I said heart. That you know that we should have. I want you to email our team right now. Info at the number 13%.com. Info at the number 13. So it's the 13%.com. I want you to do that. I'm not asking, listen, I'm not asking for a lot. I know I'm not. But I would love to get your input. Like, remember when Ice Cube came up with the plan? But, you know, he was trying to present it to the government. I want us to come up with a plan and create our own government. If you on board with that, use the email info at the number 13%.com. This is not, I'm talking about just suggestions, ideas, and be real. Don't hit me with no 1-2 sentences. This is not the email like, hi, Dane, and none of that. This is serious. This is not about me. This is not about you. This is about all of us. I want to get something done. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. I'm going to pull the resources that I have right now and try my best to get something done so we could establish something, because all this, like this governor right here, senator, this is over. This is a site. It's just repeating. The repeating messages. Later on down the line, we're going to find out they done pulled out. The Californians are not going to get reparations for whatever our reason they come up with. But what they got out of that, what these politicians got out of that, was your vote. And we know Governor Newsom was, I don't know if he's eventually going to run for president, but we overheard the rumors. Of course he's going to do something like this to hurry up and jump his vote up sky high because he promises some money. I'm not trying to go through that, y'all. I'm not screaming and yelling. I hope I'm not. I'm being respectful to you, and I know you're being respectful to me. I didn't even get a chance to read the chat just yet. because I want y'all to, I'm so focused on this right now. I'm still going to put out brand new information. My wife and I are already working on that right now. But this right here, before I go into the other things, because this ain't the end of the live stream. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's a couple of things I got to point out. But I just got to mention this part right here, y'all. Yes, I still have the 13% community server, but I told you, here come the website. I said I might be a little late, but here it come, because now there's other things that gotta happen. I also told y'all about the, hold on. I also told y'all about the unions. I told you, well, inside of the 13% community server, I did a live streams about how our ancestors had the unions in the past. And I also gave you, well, I also gave them, the people that were inside of the 13% community server that are still there, by the way, we over 10K strong. If you want to join, it's free. I'm just saying, !13 in the chat. The link will pop up. Inside of the server, I went live and I discussed how the unions also helped the foreigners. If you could recall, this is the reason why Kennedy was killed. Because Kennedy did not like the fact that the Italians and who am I missing? The Irish, they all, a lot of them had their own unions that eventually became their own banks, that eventually became their own charters as well. Like they were actually helping out not only people, their own people, they were helping out jobs like businesses that their own people created and its employees, backing everybody up, like backing themselves up without the support of the government, without the need of the government. Kennedy wanted to get rid of that. That was a big threat. They got rid of him for that reason. Eventually, the unions turned into other things. But I'm just saying, at this time, oh, and I also gave you all a Netflix movie to watch that actually talks about this as well, because I remember I recently watched that and was like, oh, damn, I just got finished talking about that. And it was Al Capone was in it. It was talking about the Irish. Matter of fact, I believe it was called The Irishman, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I believe it was called The Irishman. It's about 3 hours long, and they were talking about how they were doing a lot of scamming stuff, doing a lot of bootlegging stuff, how they had little bunkers up underground, up under their buildings, and they ran and tried to go, across the other street or to wherever they were trying to hide from the police, but underground, underneath their buildings. They went over all of that. I felt as though that was great, but and the messages that they gave off in there, as far as talking about our people in there, how our people got good with some of them and did some assassination type of work for them, doing a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of that stuff they learned from us anyway, especially up in, Chicago, New York, New Jersey. Y'all know what's up. Like we had the lottery before them and everything. We had a lot of the stuff, the bootlegging, doing the liquor in the tub. We did all that before them. They learned it from us. The foreigners didn't have a way to come up to make money. We were already doing our thing with the money in more ways than one. We were the original hustlers. We were the original capitalists of this society. And that stretches back for a long time. When them foreigners got over here, they were poor. Not rich, poor. They sat back and watched. And that's the entire story of these foreigners that came over here even in the 1600s. They sat and watched. They saw exactly how we were living and how we ran things. Once they got that established, they were able to civilly establish themselves to welcome in more foreigners to help themselves up, to progress what they had going on. Because they couldn't get that done over there in places like Europe, places like Africa, you name it. Couldn't get it done. It was already emperors and other dictators over there that wasn't having it. Over here, they pitted our people against each other and said, okay, that's how we're going to work our way in. The first thing they did to our people was handed us the Bible. I'm going to stop right there. But I'm just saying, when you manipulate the person's mind with something, that seems like it's believable, but it's actually something unforeseen, in a way, make-believe, imaginary, conceptualism. That's called indoctrination. That's a part of indoctrination. That's okay. Our ancestors, some of our ancestors made mistakes, but it's all about correcting them now. And that's what I said, going over what these senators talking about over and over and over again. No, I'm not trying to do all this. I'm tired of that. Representing the 35th district, Senator Stephen Bradford. Come on, man. It sound good. But who the lady that came out with the I Heard It All Before? That song, y'all remember that? I heard it all before. A lot of things was happening. Hold on, let me go back and shout some people out because they were I missed them as I was talking right there. Y'all know how I get. Zoo here more. Thank you for becoming a member. I'm gonna drop a bomb. Before we move on to the next thing, I'm gonna show y'all. Joshua Crump, thank you for your donation, brother. I appreciate that, Joshua. And J. Scott Cannon, thank you for becoming a member. And Root back at it again. What's up, Root? Hey, double up right there.
Set it on fire.
Gifted 10 members. I appreciate that, Root. Caramel Cutie. She got straight to the point. Caramel Cutie. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Man. And then Aboriginal Abstract gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate that, brother. Or sister, depending on the situation. I apologize if you're a sis. Miss Jacqueline Haltz, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that, Miss Jacqueline. Thank you, sister. Chosen for Greatness, back at it again. Hey, what's up, sis? I appreciate you. Thank you for being generous, sis. As always, I appreciate that. DJ Larry Loud, been a member for 5 months. Let's go. Carbon Watcher, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. And hold up, it's pulling up on my side. And Nicholas Anderson, thank you for your donation as well. Thank you all for being generous. Dreamland Station, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Now, this is what I want to show y'all. Heads up. Hold up. This is the next thing. Now, this may spark a little bit of controversy, but I just want you all to know that it's certain things that these brothers said that I disagree with, certain things I do agree with. So I'm not sitting up here saying just because I'm playing this video that I agree with everything that's being said, okay? But all right, so let me hold up. I'm gonna play this. Oh, let me make sure it's turned up. All right, here we go.
Welcome back. We want to dive in deeper. As we saw earlier, reparations is a hugely divisive issue. A Pew Research poll taken in late 2021 found that by a more than 2-to-1 margin, Americans oppose reparations for African Americans. And look at the racial split. Whites overwhelmingly oppose reparations, 80%. But the numbers are almost exactly reversed among African Americans who strongly support the idea. So joining me now is Cornell William Brooks. He's a professor of the practice of public leadership and social justice at the Harvard Kennedy School. He's also a former president and CEO of the NAACP. And Coleman Hughes is a columnist and host of the Society and Culture podcast, Conversations with Coleman. Both of you have agreed to essentially lightly debate this issue with me as playing my role of moderator. I'm just saying, hold on,
y'all. Y'all already know what time it is, right? Let's be real, yeah. Let's point out the facts that we see so far, right? They got a white guy moderating versus a so-called black guy and a black guy. I mean, they pitting. I hate this. I really do. I hate this. This is the part I can't stand. You know, it's some things, again, it's some things that I disagree with as far as reparations are concerned, but that does not mean that I feel as though we should not be receiving reparations. But as far as certain things, I believe it should be done certain ways. But to go on television and showcase division, I hate this, y'all. And it be like this all the time. It be like this all the time. Then there's gonna be people that agree with this guy, and there's gonna be people that agree with this guy. We already know what's happening. But look at the script that I'm talking about. Are y'all tired of seeing this shit? I know I am. I'm tired of this shit. Like, why? Why are you going on a news station? Having a debate, a public debate at that, nationally, with your own brother about whether we should receive reparations. Man, you agreed to it. How much you getting paid, nigga? Okay, never mind.
Practice of public leadership and social justice at the Harvard Kennedy School. He's also a former president and CEO of the NAACP. And Coleman Hughes is a columnist and host of the Society and Culture podcast, Conversations with Coleman. Both of you have agreed to essentially.
And you know what they get out of this? They agreed. Listen to the matter of fact, he told the truth, smiling. Listen to the white guy.
Agreed to essentially lightly debate this issue with me, is playing my role of moderator here. So
playing his role of moderator. Oh man, the setup. This is ridiculous. What is the debate about? Why are we debating about reparations? And in the beginning, look how they set that up. In the beginning, they said the majority who were against reparations was whites. But then you turn around and got two so-called black brothers pitted against each other. This is how they took over the country. Dang, well, how did they take the land from us? How did they steal things from? They pit you against each other. That's how. That's how.
The NAACP. And Coleman Hughes is a columnist and host of the Society and Culture podcast, Conversations with Coleman. Both of you have agreed to essentially lightly debate this issue with me, is playing my role of moderator here. So
he enjoyed his job.
Cornell Brooks, let me start with you. You've been studying this for quite some time, and you've been working with some religious leaders to come up, I think it's fair to say, a modern blueprint of what you think. What would reparations look like in the 21st century? Make the case.
That's right. So I've had the pleasure and honor of working with both the National Council of Churches and the Union of Reform Judaism and a group of Harvard Kennedy School students who are working with these large religious associations all across the country, representing over 40 million people, to create a moral discourse on reparations. Why? Because
Hold up. Hold up. No. There's no way. There's no way. I'm gonna just let that sink in. I'm gonna let it sink in for a second.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Now that's crazy.
All right, listen to who. One more time. He said,
look like in the 21st century. Make the case.
That's right. So I've had the pleasure and honor of working with both the National Council of Churches and the Union of Reform Judaism and a group of Harvard Kennedy School students who are working with these large religious associations all across the country, representing over 40 million people, to create a moral discourse on reparations. Why?
Stop. That's a problem right there. Number one, he ain't say Christian, he said Judaism. Representing over 40 million of our people. Who said that they wanted to be represented by a church? People are going to church to praise the Lord, not to be represented by the church. Y'all better start praising the Lord at home. These churches taking advantage. All right, okay.
Because we know that in many corners of our republic, it's being politically weaponized. And they're endeavoring to make...
Whoa. Hold on, okay, stop. Let me stop cutting them off. I need y'all to hear the words, first of all, that's coming out of his mouth from the top. I'm not going to cut it off unless it's ridiculous. I'm not going to cut it off.
I've had the pleasure and honor of working with both the National Council of Churches and the Union of Reform Judaism, and a group of Harvard Kennedy School students who are working with these large religious associations all across the country, representing over 40 million people, to create a moral discourse on reparations. Why? Because we know that in many corners of our republic, it's being politically weaponized. And they're endeavoring to make, I'd say, three.
One thing I could agree with is that it is being politically weaponized. But the church, all right, okay.
Key points here. The first of which is, with respect to reparations, you often hear that the harm was too long ago, it's too expensive, and too impossible, too difficult to do. What we find is the harm was not long ago, right? So in other words, yes, slavery ended in 1863 and 1865, but the convict leasing system, representing 1 million people enslaved, lasted up until the opening days of World War II, right? And all of these systems of oppression continue into the present, point one. Point two, with respect to reparations being too difficult. I want to know something here, Chuck, that's critically important. My colleague, Linda Bilmes, who's a public economist at the Harvard Kennedy School, we've done a study, and we looked at all of these programs across the federal government, and we make the case that we're already doing reparations. We simply don't call it that. So in other words, there's a norm in government which essentially says, if an American has been harmed through no fault of their own, the government will often step in to try to make them whole. We do this not only with respect to Japanese Americans who were interned after World War II, but we also do it with respect to veterans, with respect to people who suffered in a natural disaster.
Now, he's right about this. Now, this is why I agree with the facts. I agree with this part right here.
Across the federal government, and we make the case that we're already doing reparations. We simply don't call it that.
Well, I need y'all to stop saying we. We are not the government. You need to say, see, we. It's just like our team. Like when we tied to a football team, a basketball team that we like, we automatically say we. Like we're a part of the team. No, you're just showing support. I understand. But no, you're not the government. Stop saying we. No, say the government. Please, it's not we. You're not doing any of that.
Norm in government which essentially says, if an American has been harmed through no fault of their own, the government will often step in to try to make them whole. We do this not only with respect to Japanese Americans.
See, the government, look at how you contradicted. Ugh. You got to be up front. The government does it, and then we. Right behind that.
We do this not only with respect to Japanese Americans who were interned. An American has been harmed through no fault of their own. The government will often step in to try to make them whole. We do this not only with respect to Japanese Americans who were interned after World War II, but we also do it with respect to veterans, with respect to people who suffered in a natural disaster. We do it with respect to children who've been harmed by vaccines. We do it with respect to pensions that are insured. So we do this over and over again, which says that we can do it. And lastly, we do it at the level of millions, billions, even trillions of dollars. So we can't afford to do it.
All right, Coleman Hughes, let me bring you in here. You testified before Congress in 2019 against the idea of reparations. You said paying reparations to descendants of slavery would, quote, only divide the country further. And you thought it would insult black Americans by putting a price on the suffering as well, and would make black Americans like yourself victims without their consent. I hope I captured that correctly, but you take it further. Make your case against.
So let me just make a distinction off the bat. I support reparations for redlining. right? Because there are many victims of redlining that are still with us. They're still alive.
That's happening now.
All the examples of successful reparations for other groups that you highlighted were examples of reparations given to directly the victims of these human rights abuses in their lifetimes or their immediate family members. That's why I support reparations for redlining paid directly to the victims, as they're doing in Evanston outside of Chicago. I make a distinction between that and reparations for slavery, which ended in 1865. I know of no examples where groups are getting reparations for historical crimes that are over 150 years old. And unfortunately, the opportunity was tragically missed to pay it to the slaves themselves or their immediate families. But claims like this time out, right? And this is timed out. And let me say one more thing. Martin Luther King had a plan.
No, he didn't. They time out. You putting a time limit on it now? 150 years ago. That's a trash argument right there. If somebody can actually prove that their ancestors were affected by slavery, meaning employment, I can't stand when they do this. They pit us against each other. And they got this fool talking about a time period. You giving the government an excuse. I wouldn't be surprised if the government paid him. He already wired. He probably worked for an agency. So, I'm just saying, man, this right here, you putting a time period on it. He actually said that.
Crimes that are over 150 years old. And unfortunately, the opportunity was tragically missed to pay it to the slaves.
So when do you think it should have been? Like, it was tragically missed. Like, what was the deadline? Like, you give us the deadline. Since you think it was a deadline that's actually non-existent, where is it? Where is this imaginary deadline? It was, come on, tragically missed?
Themselves or their immediate families. But claims like this time out, right?
Time out? Yo, see? And then there's fools like this that's out there too. And when I tell you that it be your own people, I'm pretty sure people be saying that too. It be your own people. Again, I don't like the fact that they calling us African slaves, because that's something that can't be proven. But the fact that you saying that there's a time limit, no, when it ain't. There ain't no rule or regulation that's out there right now. No type of legislation indicating that there is a time limit that has to be placed upon when a group of people should receive reparations. You shouldn't fix your face to come out and say something like that. Because what if if you did your genealogy and one of your ancestors were employed during that time period, working out in them fields or doing something like that, you would want some compensation in their name, right? That's why I wish I was there to have a follow-up question like that. You gonna deny it then? You gonna say, oh no, it's too late? It was 150 years ago?
And this is timed out. And let me say one more thing. Martin Luther King had a plan for addressing the legacy of slavery, which he laid out in his book, Why We Can't Wait. And he called it the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged. The Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged was not a race-based policy. It was a class-based anti-poverty program that would benefit...
Stop! But, oh, man. There's no difference between racism and classism. He gonna say it's not race-based, it was class-based. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They put races of people up under a certain class. Or should I say they put groups of people, ethnic groups, in particular categories, classes. They classified you as man. Nah. If you agree with this guy right here, don't send me no email. Don't. I know my team out there watching right now. Don't even waste your time. If you agree with this right here, don't waste your time. Don't do it. I had the nerve to bring up Martin Luther King. It wasn't about race, it was about class. Some people just be ignorant to certain situations, man, because they don't want to look into it themselves. They just, get the word for some type of stranger, then regurgitate that information and think it's the truth, run with it, and jump onto a national televised program and say stuff like this.
That would benefit the black poor and the white poor and the poor of all races. Rights for a plan for addressing the legacy of slavery, which he laid out in his book, Why We Can't Wait. And he called it the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged. The Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged was not a race-based policy. It was a class-based anti-poverty program that would benefit the black poor and the white poor and the poor of all races. That's what I support in terms of addressing the legacy of slavery. That's what I feel is the wisest path forward for this country.
Let me follow up a little bit, Coleman, because it is interesting that there are
So he inadvertently just said that he supports reparations. Okay, but it is the exact same way because he doesn't know the difference between, or that the similarity between classism and racism. I mean, as far as the direct general agenda of both, as far as their action is concerned, they are the exact same thing. We can categorize both as the exact same thing. Okay.
Specific areas where you believe a reparation of sorts should be put there. How do you distinguish Jim Crow? And what is the right amount of time? And I say that Germany is still paying reparations to now descendants of Holocaust victims.
I'm glad he mentioned that. I was like, I didn't want to mention that because that's not America. Okay, because he could turn right around and say, well, that's not America, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, Germany's still paying.
So what is the timeline where you feel like where you would draw the line?
So I think reasonable people can disagree on this, and I don't claim to have the last word on the subject, but I think we can all agree reparations should be paid ideally in the lifetime of the victim. If the victim dies, it should be paid to their spouse or to their children. Once you get to grandchildren and beyond, my personal view is that that's beyond my line.
Stop. No. Reputation out the window. Oh man, you would want your grandchildren to get your land back if it was stolen from you. You would want your grandchildren to take over your trust if the trustee not living. You would want your grandchildren to know about the legacy that you left behind, the culture that you left behind, the accomplishments that you made in your lifespan. And you will also want your grandchildren to know if you were treated wrong. You will also let them know your rights and wrongs. What not to do, what to look out for. especially if it's a major issue, like how slavery was. It still is today, by the way. Slavery is still existing. But since you slaving right now, you so blind, you got your eyes closed, you can't even tell that you still a slave right now. Just because you got your $25 Burlington Coke factory get up on right now, you think everything's sweet. No, it's not. It's a reason why you got that backdrop, because that ain't live. You were green screening. What you hiding? What, you living your best life right now? Red line don't exist to you? Your FICO credit score over 10? When you marking yourself down as black right now? Can you just hop up tomorrow and go get a car loan, a house loan? Shit, a personal loan from any bank of your choosing? Do you got to make sure that you slow down around the police? Make sure you obeying the laws? You never seen racism before? You went to the top schools, got this and got that, coming out, summa cum laude? You straight, huh? Your children gonna be fine too, and their children gonna be fine, right? Everything gonna be good, huh? Slavery ain't affect y'all, did it? Slavery ain't affect your family, huh? This brother got to be no more than, I'd give him 27, 28, younger than mine. He don't know what he's talking about. But see, these the type of people that they put out there on TV to make our people look a certain way. Yeah, I disagree with the other brother talking about some of the church people and the this, that, and the Judaism. But where I give them credit at is shit, is at least they trying. You right here shooting down the whole thing. Ain't nothing wrong with saying, okay, we need reparations this way. I mean, we should be owed this way. Like how you was just talking about the red line, and then you're going to turn around and say, well, you contradicted yourself by saying, nah, it should be a time limit. The time limit is after just 2 generations of the family. You know how fast that is? That's 50 years. Don't you want to live to see 50 years old? Some of these brothers need a talking to. Because some of these brothers, their mother ain't, put them across their knee and whoop that ass. That's what happened right here. Father not in the house. How much you trying to bet? How much you trying to bet? Dane, don't judge a book by its cover. He started reading the book out loud. I'm not reading the cover. And he wrote it.
Paid to their spouse or to their children. Once you get to grandchildren and beyond, my personal view is that that's beyond my line. But like I said, reasonable people can disagree on this, but there's no doubt that, in my view, crimes from the 1850s and 60s are beyond the statute of limitations.
Do you see this where services can sort of be what is reparations? So maybe it is free college, maybe it's discounted college, maybe it is tax breaks, however you want to describe it. Is that an acceptable form in your opinion?
It is an acceptable form. And when we look at what we call repertory compensation programs in government, they use a variety of strategies to help make people whole. But let's go to this point about indirect victims. When we look at the policies, when we look at government, when we look at history, we actually do compensate people who have suffered a harm indirectly and their heirs. Think about this. So in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, Black Wall Street was bombed from the air. Homes were burned on the ground. No compensation, including for victims who are over 100 years old today. But when we bombed islands in the South Pacific, as in the U.S. government, we paid compensation to direct victims, indirect victims, and their heirs as a consequence of an American government bombing people on the ground.
That's absolutely correct right there. I mean, no pun intended for me dropping a bomb, but that's absolutely correct.
It's up.
And yeah, still to this very day, nothing was done. And that was a direct hit from the government, by the way, where those bombs was coming from. Nothing. They didn't want to lay claim to that, just like they not going to lay claim to saying, hey, that we built this country. The only person I heard come out their mouth, not to bring this back up because I know how some of y'all get, but the only person I heard come out their mouth to say that we built this country was Trump. I still have that video. Yeah, man, this government right here and did our people dirty from its inception because this government wasn't built for our people. I exposed how in numerous ways. But he's right. He's right. They'll hurry up and, treat the foreigner with love and care. But this is another reason why you know that we're indigenous to this landmass here. I mean, seriously, because every other foreigner gets treated way differently from us. Every single one of them gets treated way differently from us, top to bottom, by this government. It's not a game. That's not hate speech. That's not, I got hate in my blood. That's not, I hate this specific group of people. It ain't got nothing to do with that. The only hate that I see is coming from the government and the policy creators, the policy makers, the lawmakers, and its law enforcers. That's where I see the hate coming from. The majority of the time. And they got that nerve to say they need to study this thing. I keep telling y'all what they need to study. What more do you need to study? What more do you need to study? If it wasn't for us, it wouldn't be this government. If it wasn't for us, it would be no you. But once again, earlier I pointed out HR 125 as just being one piece. I could point out so many different things again. But that's why I would love for y'all to send me your take. Send me your bullet points that you will have in your mind. Write them down. Email my team. Let me know what's up. Like, I'm for real because I'm trying to do something for real. This is not a game. This is me. I'm calm the best way that I can. Y'all know how I am when I haven't had my coffee too. So I may sound like I need my coffee right now. No sugar, no cream. But I'm telling you, info at the 13%. That's the number 1, the number 3, the word %.com. Info at let me put it in a live chat right now, because I know somebody gonna get this wrong. This is the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching the replay, this is the live chat that I'm putting this in. Oh, I'm putting it in the chat right now. I'm not playing. Email me. Y'all all right out there? Yeah, black coffee. No sugar, no cream. What's up, Blue Dreamer? What's up, sis? How you? DJ Divine Riser said, I want to be single for a while after the vote. Yeah, grow our own food. That's right, Benji. That's right. I mean, literally, top to bottom, we could do everything on our own. Listen, we don't, what we need this government for real? Like, is the government doing something for us right now? Like, we all are taking care of our families on our own, right? What is the government? The only thing that I can see the government doing for our people right now is taking our money. Taxes. You got to pay for tags. You got to pay property tax. Local, state tax. Federal tax. We always handing them shit. What they doing for us? What we need them for? For real? What? Really? What do we need them for? Captain Kirk 87, it's up, Niji. Yeah, brother. It's up. It's up. Bino, thank you for being a member for 5 months in a row, brother. I appreciate that. I'm dropping a bomb for you. Veronica became a member. What's up, sis? La Paris, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. And Bailey-Oso been a member for 6 months in a row. I appreciate that, OCO. And Roy, thank you for becoming a member. And Hugh Fall, thank you for becoming a member. Empress Frequency, I appreciate you. Thank you, sis, for the dono. My GBR 1000X. What's GBR, Empress? Say it in the chat. I don't know what you mean by that. I might have missed it. Say it in the chat for me real quick. Cosmic Sun said Cosmic separating us. You know how they trying to do us, man. They always trying to separate us. That's what they display on screen. They even do it in movies too. They do it in movies, and then now people be doing it willingly because they, monkey see, monkey do. I hate to use that terminology, but they be doing it all over the internet as well. Always trying to create divide. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm about. And then people get mad because I'm like, look, man, I'm indigenous to this land. I'm American Indian. What you mad at me for? What you like? Did you try to separate the people? How? How am I trying to separate the people? By telling them that they not who they say we are? By telling them that they are not who they say we are? How am I separating the people? Wow, Indian folk, thank you for becoming a member. Sour D's been a member for 19 months. What up, B-More? Yeah, rest in peace, Coolio. That's my brother, man. Rest in peace, Coolio. So what y'all think? Matter of fact, let's throw some things out there right now. You don't got to give a long, explanation, right? But just some short little bullet points. What you want to see done for us. And what I mean by that is for us, by us. Remember FUBU? See, back then I used to get, and I don't know why we not behind these companies no more. Remember FUBU and, see, I'm from DC. Shooters and, that was a clothing company. Hobo, All Days, Madness. Man, back then we used to, in DC, we used to support our people that came. I mean, they charged an astronomical amount, in which they should because it was embroidery, I understand. But Wayne, we got to get behind our own people's stuff. But not only just businesses. We need to be banks, government positions, police departments, public safety, fire departments, doctors, nurses. I mean, we need so many different things. Not just having corner stores and, liquor stores and, or what are they called? Convenience stores and like, we need everything. Yeah, our own public transportation. We need that, yes. Airports. I agree. Look at how many people. Oh, I'm shaking the mic. I'm sorry because I just got excited. Look at how many people said farms. Farms. I just got excited. I'm not gonna touch that mic like that no more. I apologize. I don't even know how that sound on y'all's end. I apologize. That got me hyped. That got me hyped. Ghost Music, thank you for becoming a member. Vega, thank you for becoming a member. John Brown Jr., thank you for becoming a member. Tuck, thank you for becoming a member. Damn, that happened back to back. Devron Lee, thank you for becoming a member. Josiah, thank you for becoming a member. And Rate 781, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. Donna Jordan, thank you for becoming a member. Belicio, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate that. Eagle Wisdom, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hey, Wild Indian folk. Gifted 10. I appreciate that, Wild Indian folk. That's wild. I'd much rather be Wild Indian. You know what I mean? Out there in the wild. That's where we at right now. Out here in the wild. But I mean, our own military, okay. Our own farms and grocery stores. Because see, we had this before. We had this before. Why not go back to what we had before and just expand on it? Like, I don't know. I wonder what makes our people think that we can't do it because we always clashing. Is that it? But is that going to be all of us? Or is just that the certain few that they put out there in the forefront? Like, for example, Exhibit A. You know what I'm saying? Exhibit A. Just because, you know, they on a major public platform that's being broadcast nationally, that don't mean that's everybody. Like, for example, us. For example, this is the reason why I use the term 13%, because that's all it's going to take. We just need that 13% of us to get started, to get something done. Establish it right away, and everybody else going to follow suit. This is the reason why I use the term 13%. I also use 13, that number 13 specifically, because I throw it back at them. I throw it back at them. You know how they work in gematria. They love numbers. You know, they want to be code and everything. Stay on code. Okay, we on code already. Because we outdoing you by way of the numbers anyway. Especially by way of population. They know that. Charm City 410. Charm City, what's going on? I appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. Earl, I'm dropping a bomb for you, Earl. Thank you for your donation. Copper Brother, thank you for becoming a member. Copper Brother, I know that's right. I know that's right. Yeah, man, I agree. Yeah, museums too. Museums. Yeah, that's what I said, Captain Kirk. But we killing them by way of population. But not only by population, we also, I mean, quiet as it's kept, wealth as well. But it's not being showcased because we're not showcasing unity. Like everybody will be forced to take us seriously when they see that we have showcased unity amongst ourselves and actually establish something for ourselves. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a domino effect. Everybody gonna fall in line. Everybody. That's why I want to get something done. Like, if you want to get in detail again, I'm gonna, put this out here. If you want to get a detail with me and make suggestions and feedback as far as this 13%, but what we should, this is only that I'm only asking for this. Please, y'all. Don't hit my team's email and be like, hey, it'd be something else. Please be about this for us. Again, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. Let me know what you want to see implemented. info@the13%.com. info@the13%.com. Yeah, daycares. I agree. Schools, matter of fact, schools. While we on that, yeah, I said public safety. Definitely said public safety earlier. I agree. That definitely should be up front. Military first. So we could have backup. Like we could, I saw a gentleman out there, I forgot his name, light-skinned brother with glasses. They ended up locking him up. I saw him out there, kind of looking like, he reminded me of how the original Black Panthers looked. Some of it I agreed with, some of it I didn't. I just feel as though he wasn't fit to be a leader. To me personally, I felt as though he should have let somebody else lead. I mean, he had he could have been like a good, I would have put him like as a sergeant or something like that. He would have been like a good sergeant or like maybe a lieutenant, but not a leader. Not a leader. He didn't have that leadership mindset like fully developed. To me, that's my opinion. I liked what I saw though. I liked certain things, but certain moves that he was making, I was like, nah, I wouldn't have did that. Grandmaster Flash, that's his name? I heard people saying that he was a DJ. I really didn't look into him to see. I know he used to be involved. I'm familiar with him being involved in music, and then he transitioned over, into that conscious mind state. And there was a lot of things that he was, stating on out in the public I disagreed with. It was a lot of things. I was like, nah, not leadership. Not leadership. It should have been somebody else. Some of that stuff, I liked the way it looked though, but it was just that part right there. It was just like, nah, he shouldn't have did the talking. Natural to the game. Thank you, NSA. Stay on code. I appreciate that. Toss the ball. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. I see the subscribers also now. He also ran for president. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, Grandmaster J, that's his name. Firearms Military Academy. It will be. I know a guy out in Georgia actually that do. He's a Niji. He does. But see, he's in Georgia, but he does do firearms training. That would be nice to have something like that in every state where everybody could be, prepared for stuff like that. That would be nice. He was misinformed. Yeah, I agree. He was misinformed. That's all it was. That's all it was. Military, food, health, and shelter. I agree. They got him on gun charges? Okay. I thought it was something else. I don't know. I didn't know that. Food and health programs. Yeah, that was, Martin Luther King's thing right there. He was doing that a lot. Military Academy. Professor Griff. Both of y'all said that back to back. Why y'all saying Professor Griff? But shout out to Professor Griff though. He showed love. I remember that. I got a shout out from him not too long ago. Shout out to that brother. He's a Pan-African though. He definitely, but he showed love though. Not all Pan-Africans, disagree with me or, hate me. Let me say it that way. He may disagree, but he not the type to hate me. It's other ones out there that just can't stand me. They keep my name in their mouth. He not one of them, though. He showed love. Need our own poisonous vaccines? Elliot. Construction workers, we got them. We got them on lock. We definitely got the construction workers and the truck drivers. Yeah, create our own currency. I saw a lot of people say that. A lot of people said that. Our own defense team, our own lawyers, I agree. Our own dentists. Professor Griffiths, military? What you mean? Get a little bit more detail. What you mean? I didn't know he was military. Papa Duck is my guy. Matter of fact, that's my guy. I definitely will have him on board. Government is immortal. Professor Griffiths, American Indian. Leave Vlad alone. Interview Rico Dukes, Huey P. Son. All right, shoot him, or shoot me his information. I'll get in contact with him. Reinstate our courts. I agree. Archaeologists, that will be nice, Matrix. That will be nice. A lot of our people are not in that field. Matter of fact, I have no idea of a person that's an archaeologist that's out in that field that's actually doing it, though. Not the ones that, that might have got paid by a university doing it for a little, short period of time. I'm talking about the ones that actually stick with it. I don't see those of our people. Our own car manufacturer, car stuff. I agree with that, PSA. I agree with that. I really do agree with that. We should be coming up with our own cars. That's right. I agree with that. Our own car manufacturers, that would be nice. Man, what? That would be amazing. Matter of fact, that would be amazing. Matter of fact, come out with our own internet service provider. Come out with our own cell phone provider. That would be nice. Get involved in technology and crush it. Yeah, duck for Florida, yep. Shit out to Florida. Yeah, that would be, yeah, I agree. That would be hard. That'd be hard. I love that. Our own NBA, that's what Ice Cube doing. Cube got his own NBA. The big three. If you unfamiliar with that, look it up. He had it around for some years now. He got his own, he got his own. Owned by him. Yeah, tech centers, I agree. Hydro engines, we can have all of that. Energy companies, Cadillac's making a comeback. Man, what if we came out with our own Cadillac company or whatever, something that, remind us of a Cadillac, we hopping on it. It's always, every time I see a DG, we either in a Cadillac or a Benz. It never fails. Yeah, Ice Cube doing his thing. I agree. Our own research centers, I'll be all over that. Our own YouTube. How about that one? I throw that one out there. We need to have our own social media, man, because we be making these other people rich. We done made the Instagram rich, TikTok rich, YouTube rich. We helping these folks out big time. We the trendsetters. All we gotta do is get with some nerdy coders. See, this is why I got my children involved in coding. A few of my children in coding right now. Coding, matter of fact, if y'all, cause see, I'm a nerd at heart. And I, luckily, 3 of my 5 children in coding, cause I think that's something we gonna need. That's something man, what? Them companies be needing them coders. Yeah, man. Water company, I agree. Yes, it definitely get involved in the medical field, our own medical field. Yeah, Twitter too. Yeah, that's right. You a nerdy coder? Yeah, we definitely need our own industry as far as our own currency. We do. But that's something we all got to agree to. Then that means that everybody else, wouldn't have a choice as long as we backing it up with something. Or some type of fallback. Our own Library of Congress would be nice. That we could, we could write an offer to the Mormons that they can't refuse and get our records up out of Utah. That, they got it hiding in the cave with a goddamn door that could withstand a nuclear bomb. Yeah, we did not give them permission to hold our records. Talking about something, you gotta be a member to get them records. Well, I'm not trying to be no Mormon just to get some records. That shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't have allowed that. our own broadcast station. I agree because the lady that owned, what's her name? Damn, now I forgot her name. She owned a lot of stations. And she was of color. She's a Niji. Damn, I forgot her name. I'm not sure, what her, percentage is as far as ownership. I think her name was Hughes. I forgot her first name. Yeah, Kathy Hughes. I'm not sure of her percentages, like as far as ownership is concerned, but I knew she definitely had pull at a lot of radio stations, like as far as ownership. I just don't know how much. Yeah, Kathy Hughes, that's her. She had, Urban One. Yeah, that's right. That's her company. Yep, that's her. Tia on it. That's her. Our own counterintelligence. That would be nasty, my Niji. That'd be nasty to have our own agencies. You know what I'm saying? As backup. Radio One, yeah. Does she have full ownership of Radio One? I didn't know that. I thought she was like maybe part owner. I didn't know that. Radio One, TV One. Is she full owner? She's 100% owner? She's not sharing any shares with that? Making our own county through cities and states. That's my number one goal right there, Matrix. That is my number one goal right there. To make that happen. That's going to take money, but that's my number one goal. Our own airport is essential. I agree. But see, we need pilots also. Now, I have my aviator's license, but it's been some years. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I would have to probably do it again. But yeah, we need to have our own, aviators. I agree. Professionally trained. We need the Tuskegee Airmen again. Manufacturing and distribution. I agree with that, Charles, 100%. Apartment 217 said it was a corporation now. We got pilots, Dane. Levante, man, you already know. That was my thing. I'm not afraid to fly. That was my thing. International trading, eventually, Keith. Eventually international trading. I agree with that because that will help our growth as our own government. That will help. A fleet of boats and ships. Man, our people got to learn how to swim first. Do you realize how many people, our own people, don't know how to swim? What's up, CEO Ball Styles? What's up, sis? How you? And don't lie. Get in the comment section right now. Can you swim? Don't lie. Do y'all know how to swim? I could not graduate high school without learning how to swim. It was not planned. But I'm telling you, I was surprised at how many of our people cannot swim. Don't lie now. Can y'all swim a little? No. It ain't no such thing as a little. It's either yes or no. The sheriff's office, I agree. We can have our own sheriffs. No, look at the nose. A little. Y'all going straight down to the beach, not touching that water. Y'all know better than that. Y'all staying right up on shore. Telling the kids, no, don't go too far. Come back here. Looking around for the lifeguard. Our people need to know how to swim, okay? I know that for a fact. Our people need to learn how to swim. For sure. Look, and here's another thing, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. When the last time we seen an Olympian swimmer that's a Niji? Not just winning the gold and silver and bronze. I'm just talking about period. Out there in competition. Okay? I never, in my lifetime, I haven't seen one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not one time did I see an EG swimmer out there in the Olympics trying to go for the gold. I remember when I first saw, I remember Dominique, gymnastics. Dominique, I was a kid when she was coming up in the Olympics, and she was a monster. I believe her name was Dominique Dawes. Y'all remember Dominique Dawes? That's what, yeah, dog. Look, the whole chat. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Dominique Dawes used to kill it. I had a little slight crush on her too when she was young. When she was young, I don't know what she looked like now. I'm just saying back then, I'm talking about I took newspaper clippings and posted on my wall. I ain't gonna lie. I had her right next to Aaliyah on my wall. I ain't gonna lie. I was in love with Aaliyah. Sure was, but that girl was kicking tail on the floor. No white folks was like, well, and she's gonna do a double-double with blah, 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 blah. And, oh my God, and she connected. They was going off. They ain't never seen no thick thighs like that. Coming across that floor. Man, Dominique Dawes ain't get the flowers that she deserved, man. That, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the Olympics. I mean, of course, we got some folks out there playing basketball and, running track. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen her doing gymnastics, back then, I was like, yeah. 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 Is her name Simone Biles? I believe I saw her. She's doing it now. Yeah. She doing it now. But I'm talking about back then, Dominique Dawes had it on lock and key. They could not stop her. Yeah, Aaliyah was mine. That was, yeah, man. May she rest well. I was in love with her. That was a little crush of mine. Look at me telling y'all my past. Back to what's mine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, family. Thank you for the dono. Jeremiah, welcome aboard. Oh yeah, she a beast too. Shakira, how you pronounce her name? Shakari? Is that how you pronounce her name? I saw her. I thought she just lost. I'm not sure. Now I saw Venus just lose. And everybody was hating on her, saying that she need to retire. You got to understand that Venus is like 43, 44. Let her keep doing her thing. Let Venus keep doing it until she get tired. Shakari. Okay, I'm glad somebody broke it down for me. Shakari, yeah. I like her though. She be having her hair and her nails done. I gotta give her props. I know how that stuff go because my wife go do them same things, and the nails be taking 4 hours, the hair take 4 or 5 hours out. And then she got the nerve to go out there and practice and then turn around and become a champion. I got mad respect for her. Oh, she won. She won the title. Okay. She won 2 golds and a bronze. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, and like $350 later. No bull. But I got respect for her because didn't she lose her mom? Her mom passed, and I believe something like that. I could be wrong, y'all. I could be wrong. But that motivated her. And she kept it going. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, that's what happened. But I love that about her. Yeah, Bubba Wallace in NASCAR. Yep. Bubba Wallace broke the man. I was loving that, man. Big time. But I think he a little mixed, but I give him that though. You know what I'm saying? He partially needs you. You know what I'm saying? I give him that. Yeah, man, I wish it would have been me out there in the NASCAR. That was my little dream. Yeah, she did. Okay, yeah. Yeah, she lost a lot, yeah. But she's still doing her thing. That's why I'm so glad. I'm so glad that she kept doing her thing, man. She doing right. And I'm glad she won. Now she a world champion. She gonna do it again, too. Watch. She gonna turn right around and be motivated to do it again. P.D. Smith, greetings, shalom, Osio. Osio, how you? Osio, Ball Styles, me too. Bring NASCAR back, man. I wish, man. You know, I'm into them cars heavy. Bro, we got a race. Man. She's more focused after her loss. I agree. Not a lot of people can recoup the way she did, because with all of that added pressure on her, with her being on television and getting, you know, a lot of support from people online and her being in the spotlight, that I gotta respect her. She didn't fall. She didn't, you know, crumble. She didn't go, you know. She used her losses as her gains. And she kept it moving. She married a brother or no? I don't know. I didn't know she was married. I didn't know she was married. I did not know that. Now I'm late on that, if that's the case. And speaking of late, Choctaw Montana said I'm 2 hours late. It's all good, Choctaw. We was just talking about, I just wanted to, you know, show everybody, yeah, you are late, Choctaw Montana. You are late, because we just went over a bunch of stuff. Now I'm just chilling, talking to the chat right now. But you late. You late. You can take a seat right there in the back, Choctaw. Right there in the back. Right there in the back. Put the water down. Don't chew no gum in here. Remember the teacher always get on your nerves? Take that gum out your mouth. You be trying to hurry up and slow chew. You had just put the gum in your mouth. You try to take the gum out your mouth, Dane. I'm trying to hurry up and chew it real quick, then put it in the trash. Swear that ain't y'all. Y'all know I ain't playing. Y'all know I ain't playing. Just walk in there. They automatically pointing out the gum. Carmen Lynn, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that, sister. You chewing gum now? No, boy, that was me. That was me. Pack of gum coming in. Pack. And I better not show the pack. I had to sneak the pack. Keep it in my pocket, but sneak the gum out, because you know everybody and their sister gonna win a piece. Oh, let me get one, Dane. Let me get one. So I had to sneak it, throw it in my mouth real quick, pause, and then, you know what I'm saying? And keep it moving. Do the slow chew, look around, make sure ain't nobody see. That was me. I'm not an Indian giver, though. I share, but maybe like 1 or 2, but not my whole damn pack. Back then, it was $1.25, okay? I don't know how much they are now, matter of fact. It's been a minute. I mean, chewing gum, it's been a minute since I chewed gum. Bob Parker was allegedly Indian? Bob Parker. Hold on, wait. Bob Parker? You mean, The Price is Right, Bob Parker? So they probably 325 now? Oh, that's Bob Barker? Hold up, wait. Y'all confusing me. Hold up, wait, stop. His last name was Barker. Okay, all right. Didn't he just pass too? I don't know how true that was. Oh, he did die? Yeah, I saw that run across Twitter. I thought they was playing. He was up there though. But the good thing about it is that he owned everything before he passed. Like that was his own production team. So, I mean, if he was smart about it, he put that in his trust and he get to pass that down, you know, to his children, to his grandchildren. Unlike this guy right here talking about something, don't pass it down, or it shouldn't be owed to the grandchildren, all that stupidity. That's what the trust is for. Like, and keep in mind, we opened up the Freedman Trust and Savings or Savings and Trust bank account. That's what that stuff is for. You got a bank account, open up a trust. He died last week. Nah, was it last week? Oh, I mean, well, yeah, it's Saturday now, yeah. He was 99? Hold up. Wow. Oh, man, I'm sure people that said that, I ain't even gonna say it. But if he, I mean, let me say it, because if he died at 99, look at the, I'm not trying, don't take this wrong, y'all. But he was 1 away from 100, okay? And you know how, you know, you could go over 1 and win and he'll call you up? Like when you place on your bet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going with this. But may he rest well, man. May he rest well. They were planning his 100th year birthday too. August 26th, he was born, 1923. Oh, wow. Okay. Wait, but wouldn't that mean that he was already 100? Hold on, wait, am I wrong? Or did he die before his birthday? Yeah. They definitely, you know how they playing with them numbers. They rolled his odometer back. Oh, he died before his birthday. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought they were playing. I mean, so what, did he die of old age or was it something wrong? Like, did he have he was sick? I mean, what are they saying he died from? What was his cause of death? His birthday in December. People say his birthday is in December. Oh, wait, so he died on the 26th and his birthday was in December. That's what y'all saying? That jab work? Oh, man. I hope not, man. Same thing with Betty White. She was 99 before her birthday in January last year. They didn't say natural causes. And Pastor, he lived on an Najavo reservation. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. He supposedly died years ago. Natural causes, the jab. I'll have to look into that. He died years ago. A lot of people saying that. A lot of people saying he did. I would have to check that out. Bray Wyatt died from a heart attack. Wink, wink. Natural death. Somebody, and they said the Mandela effect. I had to look into it. But like I said, I thought they were joking. But I know how they lied about Queen Elizabeth death a couple of times over. That's how I know it's possible. They done lied and said, oh, now she dead this time. I'm like, damn, this is like the 4th time. One in 2015, one in 2017, and now in 2023. Wow. We know what natural cause is. Yeah, of course. Natural cause is like, it's like natural flavors. He was on a, who? No, he wasn't on a Rosebud Sioux reservation? No way. No way. You gotta be kidding me. He was on a reservation for real? You got to be kidding me. No way. I'll have to look into that. Damn, I didn't know that. Sioux Woo. Yeah, the Sioux was infiltrated big time. But the Sioux was one of the original tribes that was around. They did a lot of traveling. He lived on it as a kid. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Yeah, look, $5. Go ahead and put the Go ahead and put the $5 in there. You know how his family got in there. Come on now. Come on now. I mean, it's not even a speck of brown. Like no brown, no type of features. Like when I'm gonna have to look into it, see how he got in there. I had to see. Where they find these so-called black speakers from, I agree. But they were saying that this guy had some type of podcast or something. Coleman Hughes, he's a columnist and a writer. And they got him up against this guy. Did he put his name up? Cornell William Brooks, professor, Harvard Kennedy School. I mean, they talking about reparations. Pitting them against each other, and they got a white guy moderator. That was horrible. He wasn't no Puerto Rican. His liver spots were brown. Yeah, so silly. That's wrong. You straight Anya Weir out of South Carolina? Hey, let me chop a bomb. The Great Wolf Clan. That's what Anya Weir means, by the way. By way of the Great Lakes. Ani means great, the great. Wolf Clan is wire. Sometimes you'll hear it, people say the Great Wolf Clan of the Great Lakes. You'll hear that too. I learned that when I was up in the mountains in North Carolina. It's typical though, yeah. Indigenous revolution, I agree, it is. A lot of them got up in there, you know, for that. Those roles or whatever, you know, it depends on which roles they took. You know, took advantage of. Paid that $5 up in there. I mean, we already know they $5. That's why I said a lot of the tribes are already infiltrated. And, you know, I mean, we have our families right now. We could just pull our resources together and do what we got to do. We don't even got to worry about them right now. Pull our resources together, do what we got to do. Take care of each other. Make our own tribes. And what I mean by that is I'm not referring to paperwork and going to the government and trying to fight to get recognized. And nah, I'm not talking about that. And then, you know, some of them be bragging about that. Yeah, we going up there to try to go get recognized by the government. Yeah, I'm trying to get some money. And I'm like, all right, good luck. Good luck. Trying to get recognized by the government. So the enemy took your land and you want to turn right around and say, hey, what about me? By the same enemy. Well, if that's what you want to do. Yeah, heavily processed. I'm going to put this email in here one more time for y'all. In the live chat right now, what's in there right now. If you all have any ideas you would like to email them to me, like as far as bullet points about I'm not talking about reparations. I'm talking about as far as what you would love to see done for our people. Like those ideas, those suggestions. You may have like 3 paragraphs. You might want to make a statement longer than that. You know, either way, just don't let it be 1 or 2 sentences. You know what I'm saying? Please email that. My team will look over it. It may even be, depending on how detailed you get, it may even be implemented somewhere. I'm going to go into that at a later date. Okay? But keep in mind, if a plan comes up out of this, it's not going to be a plan for us to hand to the government. I can tell you that right now. That's not going to take place. This is a plan to hand to us so we could create our own governments. We know what we need to do, but it's about coming together to actually do it. So we won't have to go through, CBS or NBC and the rest of them, you know what I'm saying, talking about reparations, saying that 80% of the people that are against it is white, and 77% of the people, so-called black, are for it, and then turn right around and got a white moderator and two so-called black brothers pitted against each other. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the promises, and I'm tired of all of that. Let's get something done, please. I enjoyed talking to y'all. I'm gonna see y'all next time. We probably get up in here again, and I think the next one gonna be on Maui, if I'm not mistaken. And then in between that, I'm talking about the live stream, because in between that, y'all about to also see the new content that my wife and I getting ready to put out onto the channel. I see you all. You all take care. Have a great rest of your day. Wado.
I'm just here to make you think.